can do that live. Yes, I know. There we go. All right then. Okay, we're just getting started. We're on the money. I just have to set this up really quickly. Post that. And how can I pin that? Pin comment. Great. All right, we should be live. Yes, we've got people coming in. Brilliant. Fantastic. Check, 1, 2. If you're listening, just let me know that the sound is okay, that you can hear my guitar, and that you can hear everything coming through. Owen Hennessy is the first person on. Good to see you here, Owen. There is a little bit of a delay between the stream, what's happening here in the room, and what you're hearing online. It's about a 20 or 30 second delay. So hopefully you'll be able to hear everything as normal. Yeah, great. All right. How's everyone today? Let me know where you're listening from, what you want to hear, etc., etc. And I will do the best that I can. But for now, I'm going to start off with a couple of requests that I got throughout the week. I'll start off with this Chet Atkins tune that I arranged. I don't think I'd heard anyone play it for solo guitar, which is unusual for Chet Atkins music, but this is a tune called Satan's Doll. There we go. Satan's Doll to start us off. It's great to see so many people on listening, and you should be able to see the chat coming up on the screen. I think everyone can see that. I can definitely see it here from all the different platforms coming in together. I don't know how to scroll through them, or if that's even possible. Let's see if I can scroll through them. No, I can't right now, but that doesn't matter. Yes, the stream should be much better quality this week. I spent a little bit of time working out about bandwidth settings and all that kind of stuff. For the people on Instagram, you're just hearing my guitar in the room as it is. The people on Facebook and VK and YouTube and Twitter or Periscope, you're hearing the sound coming from my studio setup. so you're hearing all the reverbs and the octaves and all that kind of stuff. If you're on Instagram, you're just hearing my guitar as it is. So there was a couple of requests coming in, and I'll try and get to as many of them as I can. I just want to say a particular hello to Paul and Chloe Hennessy in New York. Chloe is releasing a tune called Time Bomb, or rather a song called Time Bomb, that I recorded on earlier this year in January. We recorded together in a studio called the Ice Plant in Long Island City in New York with Wayne Silver there. And I laid down a little bit of guitar on Chloe's track, and she's bringing it out very, very soon, as well as her album. Her album's coming out as well. I can't remember the name of her album, but I know that the track I played on is called Time Bomb. So go and check out Chloe Hennessy. Hennessy is spelled like the state Tennessee, but with a H at the start instead. Yeah, let me know what you'd like to hear. Oh, and just as I say that, Wayne Silver joins us. The Ice Plant. Hello from Wisconsin. Hello to Owen Morris. Hello to Donna Green, Stephen Volt, Kathy McIntosh Wade, Johannes Knapp. Great. Okay, this is working out well. All right, I'll continue with. What will I continue with? I should be using this for talking. There we go. I will continue with a little bit of Argent Tango. I got a request for this on Instagram earlier, so I'm going to play it. Whoever it was that requested it, I don't know who it was. Yeah, here we go, Argent Tango. And when you come to see me live and I play this tune, this is how I introduce it. Here's the keyboard player. Here's the drummer. Here's the bass player. This is for you, Dimitri. Argentango. That is from my first album, Zephyrus. And speaking of albums, just before the whole world shut down from all this coronavirus madness, I went over to Newcastle, England, and I recorded my third studio album. And I don't have a release date for it yet, and the reason is that everyone involved in the process is more or less on lockdowns, shut down at the moment. The mixing engineer, the CD production company, the even the album artwork, everything is delayed. So I don't have a date for it yet, unfortunately. But what I will do on these streams is hopefully every week from next week, I'll be debuting a new tune each week from the album. So there are going to be 10 tracks. It's nearly an hour of music in total on the album, and I hope to be able to debut one new tune a week during these live streams. I really enjoy doing these, and hopefully the quality is an awful lot better this week than it was last week. The main differences I found out for anybody interested in streaming is that a wired connection instead of a Wi-Fi connection instead of a wireless connection is an awful lot more reliable. Last week I was depending on a fairly ropey Wi-Fi connection. This week I'm wired straight in, and I have some new software that is helping me to coordinate all the audio and the video and everything like that. So hopefully it sounds and looks good. As I said, if you'd like any requests or whatever, send them in and I will do my best with them. And of course, if you have headphones, put them on, because this is in stereo. You'll hear these microphones coming through different ears, the effects coming through my board here. But if you're on Instagram, you're just hearing the sound as it is in the room. You're not hearing anything else. I just want to go through some of the comments here and see what people are saying. Who do we have? We have Eugene, one of my good friends and also my neighbour. Sarah Ryan is here. Brian Shield. Hello to North Carolina. Hello to Austin, Texas. Yeah, good. Got a nice number of people here. Okay, so Maeve O'Sullivan, you promised. Maeve O'Sullivan requested Rain Dance last week. I am going to play that, not right now, but a little bit later. I promised that I will play Rain Dance. All right then. As I said, get your love from Toronto. Huey Cannon. How's it going, Huey? What else? We have Finland. We have Privyet, fans in Russia. Alright, so what I'll continue with is I'm going to play my tune Effervescent, and then I'm going to sing one for you after that. I had a couple of requests for this one, so this is Effervescent. 1, 2, 3. effervescent. By request. So for any of the audio/techie people who are interested in this kind of thing, I'm controlling all of this, all of the sound from this. It's a Mackie DL32R, and everything is controlled from an iPad. So if I feel that something needs a bit of a change, which I think it does, I can change that really easy on the iPad, which is cool. So I promised you that I would sing something, and so I'm going to. Let me just need to get my reverb on here. I've been singing this song in the gigs for probably the last year or so now, but I'd like to dedicate it to my cousin Niall Brennan, who specifically asked for this during the week. There we go. Cool. So, this is for you, Niall. If you're watching, this is a little bit of Donald Fagen's Walk Between the Raindrops. And if you're listening on any platform except Instagram, you're about to hear the bass octave. I found a way to route it through so we can get that effect. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, shadow across the blue Miami sky as we hit the causeway by the big hotels. Yeah, we fought. Now I can't remember why. And after all the words were said, the tears were gone. We vowed to never say goodbye. We kissed. We could hear those sounds of thunder. We could hear the regulars rush the big hotels. We kissed again, and as the shower swept the Florida shore, you'll open your umbrella and you walk between the raindrops back to your door. Yeah, you walk between the raindrops back to your door. Dreams, we can hear those sounds of thunder. We can hear the causeway by the big hotels. Happy day when we find each other on that Florida shore. You'll open your umbrella and you walk between the raindrops back to your door. Yeah, you walk between the raindrops, between the raindrops, walk between the raindrops back to the door. As for you, Niall Brennan, walk between the raindrops. So, let's see. A couple of people have said, left comments on the stream saying that it's a little bit big. I think I can change that. This should change it, and I'm going to put it up in the corner here, away from everything. Hopefully that'll work. Let me know if that has changed on your screens or not. It should change. All right. Okie doke. So, I'm going to check Instagram as well because I've been sort of neglecting that. And Katie Farrell asks, can you play Jumbo for us? All right, Jumbo it is. So this tune that I'm going to play for you is a tune that I improvised when I was recording my album. And this is a I played this on a baritone guitar. It arrived to the studio at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we took it out and we were playing around with it, and I came up with this tune on the spot. I had sort of an idea of it before, but then I sort of improvised the structure in the middle section and everything. So I gave it a working title of Jumbo. Just that the guitar was big, so I called it Jumbo. But I'll give you a go of it, and if you have any other ideas for a title, let me know. This won't be on the album because we didn't record it for the album, but we are I don't know, maybe I should have. Maybe I should go back over there. We'll see. Anyway, I'll play it for you now, and let me know what you think. This is for Ben and Katie and Arthur Lucas. Are you calling them Arthur or Lucas, guys? Let me know. For the Burroughs family over in Ashland City in Tennessee. This is Jumbo. 1, 2, 3. That's for Ben, Katie, and Arthur Lucas, their new baby over in Ashland City in Tennessee. All right then. So while I'm here, I should mention as well that because of pretty much losing every gig until July, I have been telling people on and off that I'm offering Skype lessons or FaceTime lessons at the moment. So if you're looking to learn any of this kind of stuff, fingerstyle guitar, or even just better guitar skills in general, I am available to do those at the moment. So if you send me a direct message either on email or a private message on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere like that, I'll get back to you with the details about how we can do those lessons. Or I've also done video lessons for people as well, where the time zones don't link up or don't match very well with normal Irish time. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. Send me a direct message and we can take it from there. As I said last week as well, I left a little PayPal link as like a little virtual tip jar. I have it pinned on Instagram here, and I've also got it in the description of all the streams. So if you're enjoying this today and you fancy buying me the cost of a coffee or a pint or whatever, please feel free to use a little virtual tip jar and put something in there if you're enjoying. In the meantime, keep sending in the requests. I am keeping an eye as much as I can on the comments here. There's a little aggregator that shows me the comments from all the different platforms, which is really handy. Alright, who else have we got? Huey Cannon says, can you do Wonderwall? Suppose today would be the day, wouldn't it? April Fool's Day. Let's see, what else have we got? Sarah Gannon says hello. Who else is here? My sisters are all watching. Lainey McDowell has joined. Alright, brilliant. And then we've also got, who else have we got here? We've got Edna listening in Oklahoma, Georgie listening in Germany, Nikita, I think is listening in Russia. Okay, Stephen Volz has asked for the Blackbird. That is a great choice. Some of you know and some of you don't that my first instrument when I started playing was the concertina. That was my, what age was I? 4? No, a little bit older, maybe. No, 4 years old when I started playing the concertina. And this was one of the first tunes I remember learning. I had a concertina teacher in school, and she gave me an album of music to learn. And I remember I learned that album cover to cover. And this was one of the pieces on it. It's called On Lundov, or the Blackbird. So what I did to change this up a bit was I played the tune as normal the first 2 times around, but then the third time around I switched it to minor. So instead of playing it in F major, I played in F minor, just to give it a little bit of a darker sort of a sound. Also, F is a very non-traditional key for Irish music. Very strange here, and I'm going to put a pick in behind the capo because this guitar likes to buzz. There we go. There we go. Alright, hope you all enjoy this. This is a little bit of traditional music. This is the Blackbird. is on Lundov, the blackbird. So it's it's a lovely tune. Unfortunately, this guitar is very, very susceptible to all kinds of humidity and climate issues. So sometimes the strings go up and it's very hard to play, and sometimes they come right down while I'm playing. So some of the notes up here aren't as clear as I'd like them to be at the moment, but that's for you. So as I said, anybody with any requests or questions, or if you just want to shout out, you want to say hello, write it in the comments, and I will do my best to just throw it out there to the world while people are listening. How do you think when you arrange a song? Okay, that's a question that just came in on Instagram about arranging a song for the guitar. And what I'll do is I'll show you one of the arrangements I did very recently, actually just yesterday. If any of you are listening to the charts, the pop charts at the moment, I usually don't like a whole lot of music that is on the radio, but I heard one song recently and I totally just fell in love with how it sounded, how it felt. And that is the song Say So by Doja Cat, which is just an unbelievably cool piece of music. So I arranged it for the guitar. And I'll play it for you first, and then I'll explain how I arranged it, okay? So here you go. This is a little bit of Say So by Doja Cat. Alright, so that is a tune that's in the charts at the moment, Doja Cat, Say So. And the reason that I chose to arrange it is because it had an interesting melody and interesting chords. That's what I go for when I'm arranging a song on the guitar. So any arrangement that I've done from the first Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, that I put out when I was 16 years old, all the way up to like the Beyonce tune that I do, Live and Let Die, all that stuff. I pick them all because they've got good melody, good chords. And what doesn't suit the guitar is songs that have no movement. So for example, if I take a normal, I've nothing against them, but most Ed Sheeran songs, they're not great on the guitar. And the reason is that the melodies tend to be very repetitive. It's just his style of writing. So even though he writes these lovely songs, they don't suit the, you know, solo fingerstyle guitar all that well. So I go for things that have good melodies. And once I've learned the melodies, you know, as the song is, you know, usually played or performed, then I try to find a way to pick the most important parts and put them on the guitar. So I don't try and do everything that a band does, or if I do, I try to do it at different times. For example, with that tune that I just played, one thing I felt was the groove, right? So the groove goes bum, 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 like that, okay? So it's on the beat the first time, it's off the beat the second time. So I had to be conscious that at every point in the song, when I kick the bass in, the bass has to follow that. So I go the first part, all on the beat. Second part, see, it's off the beat. So that's at least the initial approach that I take to arranging something on the guitar. After that, I try to find creative ways to get the melody to sing out a little bit more. For example, the second verse of that song goes, the melody goes, so the first time around, just to give your ears a break from all the thumping going on the guitar, I stop completely and I play the melody only on the harmonics. So I go like this. Like that, okay? And that gives your ears a break from me thumping on the guitar. So that's the approach that I take. I've only got a limited range on the guitar compared to what a band has. So I try to use my range cleverly. I try not to give, I try not to give you 100% of the frequencies the guitar's frequencies all the time. Okay, so that's an overview of kind of how I would start to arrange something. As I said earlier, I do Skype lessons, I do FaceTime lessons. If it's something you want to explore more, if you're interested in that kind of thing, send me a direct message and we'll see what we can do. Alright, so I'm trying to keep mental notes of all the requests that have come in. I also have a list here of things that people have requested. If I don't get around to your request this week, I will do my best to get around to it next week. I definitely have Rain Dance coming up for Maeve O'Sullivan before the end. We've gotten through Walk Between the Raindrops and Effervescent and Argent Tango and Satan's Doll. So if you want something else, if you want to hear something else, let me know in the comments either on Instagram or on any of the platforms you're watching on, and I should be able to get that info and try and fit it in before we finish. While I'm here, let me know how you're doing where you are as regards to being on lockdown or not being on lockdown. I'm here in my hometown of Carlow, and we are totally locked down here. We're allowed to go 2 kilometres outside of our house for some daily exercise and visits to the shop and the pharmacy. That's it. We're not allowed to do any other trips, and if we're caught, we can be fined. So I'm not really complaining because it gives me a lot of time to practice and mess around with studio things that I haven't otherwise had the time to do, which is nice. Alright then. So, we've had some requests, some Turlough Carolyn, some River Dance, Steep River Blues, American Patrol, Model. Alright, I think what I will do is, I'll do a little bit of Model. I haven't played this one in a while. This is a tune that Regina Bakhritinova from Russia plays really, really well. Regina was probably one of the first people I heard play a cover of my music, and she did that when she was in hospital at the time, and they filmed, or her friends filmed her playing one of my tunes to the other people in the hospital while she herself was a patient. So I was really touched by that, but we made contact after that, and we got to play together in Germany a couple of years ago. We shared the stage twice, but she's a great player. Regina Bach, she goes by, from Russia. So Regina or Amina, if you're watching, this one is for you. This is my tune Model. enjoyed that, folks. It is, as I said earlier, it's lovely to see so many people tuning in and tuning, in and out. So many musicians at the moment are resorting to live streams to keep in touch with their fans, to keep in touch, even just to keep their skills up. So it's really nice to see people coming on here and supporting me. And it's a real pleasure to have you as well. Thank you for interacting. Thank you for joining. Thank you for continuing to support me. I really appreciate it. And I'm really looking forward to getting back on the road once all of this lockdown and all this quarantine is over. Make sure you heed the advice of the health professionals where you're living. Stay inside, try to limit your contact, and hopefully there'll be as little loss of life and this will all blow over as quick as possible and we can get back to normal as before. We had a request there for the peacock strut. That might be a fun one to do. I haven't played that one in a while. For those of you who don't know the story about this one, this was an unnamed tune that I had, and just before I recorded my first album, I asked one of my friends, what does this tune sound like to you? And he told me, look, I don't really know, but all I know is whenever you play this, you move your head like a peacock. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, play it. Peacock Strut, that's from my first album, Zephyrus. That is a fun one to play. I haven't played it in a while. I think I need to brush up on a couple of parts of that one. Fun to play nonetheless. Okay, so before we have probably time for about 2 more, including Rain Dance. So I'll play Rain Dance at the end. If there's anything you'd like to hear quickly before Rain Dance, let me know and I will do my best to play it for you. I saw a comment there from Jennifer Doyle Weather. Your hair looks great. How can you keep practicing a lot? Have you ever had problems with pain of your neck and shoulders? No is the answer. I've never had any pain. If you have pain, you're doing something wrong. It's as simple as that. You know, if your technique is good, you shouldn't feel any pain. The number one cause that people feel pain is because they play the guitar too hard. You know, it might sound like I play the guitar really hard, but I'm actually playing really gently. I let the pickup do the work. So when I plug in, I push the volume up so that I can play quietly on the guitar. I'm not putting myself under any pressure whatsoever. You need to feel like you're barely touching the strings in order for it to, in order for you to play well. You know, I think the big problem is people feel like they need to copy that big PA system sound, or like an electric guitar, it needs to roar out. You don't need to do the work. The guitar needs to do the work. So if you're feeling pain, something is wrong. It's as simple as that. My big issue is my posture. Even right now, I'm slumped over. I should be sitting up straight. And in theory, the classical guitar position, when you play the guitar this way, is actually so much better for your body. But because I've played for so long this way, playing it the other way actually feels really strange now, even though technically it would probably be better for my body. I think someday I will put a bit of time into switching to that position, but right now I'm happy doing it this way. So the key is, if you feel pain in your shoulders, your neck, your hands, your arms, anywhere, something is wrong. I don't feel any pain anywhere. The only time that I might feel something is if I haven't played the guitar for a few days, which often happens, and then I go back and I try to jump in 100% to where I was before. That's never going to work. You have to build your strength back up. So, just before I play Rain Dance, what else is there? Have you always played with a thumb pick? I've played with a couple of different variations. So there's thumb pick. Sometimes I use a flat pick. I use one of these Dunlop jazz picks. Play with a flat pick and fingers. And sometimes I'll just use my fingers as well. It depends on the sound that I want to go for. If I want to go for a particular thumb picking style sound, I'll always have to use the thumb pick. If I need something where I need to strum a bit and also do a little bit of melody work, I'll use a pick and fingers. And if it's mainly flat picking or strumming, I'll use just a straight pick. And there's a couple of different types of straight pick that I use as well. Some are really thin, some are really fat. It all depends on the feeling that you're going for in the piece of music. So I have time now. Yeah, time for one more. I'll play Rain Dance for you before we go. And No Pain is a possible that you're superhuman as Jim Spence in Orlando, or just outside Orlando, Winter Park. Maybe it is, but you know, there's a lot of guitar players I know who are definitely, 50 years older than I am, and they don't have any pains either. So I think it could be to do with, posture, and then, the work that you do outside of guitar playing can hurt that as well. If you've been lifting heavy gear for years, that kind of stuff, that can definitely have an effect. Where can people listen to your CDs? Where can they buy them? What's your website? You can find everything at shanehennessy.ie. That's my website. You'll find it all there. You'll find my 2 CDs there, Zephyrus and Marrakesh. And as soon as I have my new album ready, I'll have it up there as well. But unfortunately, because of the coronavirus outbreak and everything in Europe being on lockdown, I don't have a date for that right now. But it is coming soon, I promise. So I'll finish up. This is a request for Maeve O'Sullivan. This is Rain Dance, and this is going to be on my new album, which will also be called Rain Dance. So I hope you enjoy this one, folks. For the people on Instagram, this will cut out probably before the end of the tune, unfortunately. There we go. There we go, that sounds good. So, hope you enjoy this one. Thank you for tuning in. And as I said, if you've enjoyed this, throw a $5, throw a $10, whatever you feel like putting into the PayPal. Every little helps, and I really, really appreciate that. I will see you again at same time next week on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you after this. This is Rain Dance. For the people on Instagram, the video is going to go off in about 1 minute. You also won't hear the effects. So go on to YouTube or Facebook for this last part of the song. Here we go. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's great to see so many people here. And I'll be live again, same time next week. It's 8 o'clock Irish time. And Michael Cummins, yes, I actually do have the tab for that. It's on my website. So if you fancy playing it, you can get it from the web store there. I do have tabs for all of my original music up there. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And I will see you next week. And as I said, send in your requests, anything that you'd like to hear next week. I'll be glad to do it. And as I said, I'll be playing tunes from the new album from next week onwards. So keep safe. Thanks for joining, and I will see you very, very soon. All the best to all of you.